5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve. This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on!
Hi, good morning everybody. Afternoon, I should say. Good morning for me. I'm talking to my friends. We're going to have Mandy joining me in just a moment, the Twisted Ginger herself. And we've got my great friend Craig Coleman from far across in the beautiful city and place of Seattle, Washington. You are welcome to see Live with Neve. And you can see I've been on the set getting my hair all coiffed perfectly. There we go. We'll hide it under the headband. So, happy Friday. It's still funky here in New York. I'm looking out. We got kind of an orangish haze on the horizon, which is, I don't know, it's cool if you like orange hazes on the horizon, but I don't. Any rate, a little story about Craig Coleman. Craig, when the show first started, is an ISSA member, as I am, the International Singer-Songwriter Association, which, hey, for you, everybody who heard me rattle that off with perfect cadence, I used to stumble so bad when I first joined ISSA. I'd be like, the international singer, let me look at it, songwriters, that's it, yeah. But Craig has been a member for a long time, and he's probably one of my first guests. He also is just a hell of a good guy, and I'm glad he's here. It's been a while since we've had him on. As you know, everybody, life has things that come and go, and I'm glad he's part of my life who's coming back. So, before we get rolling too far into this, I'm just going to quickly take a look at the news and see what we have here to talk about. It is still a really funky day here in the New York area. I'm looking out the window. New York is missing on the horizon. It's just like gray and funky because of all the bonfires and crap up in I was going to say Germany, up in Canada. So we have some new news today. Our news report for the day is brought to you by Gone Country Hats. Let's see. Fox to pay $12 million in a hostile workplace suit. Apparently, there's been some shenanigans at the old Fox News building that we should know about. And then we have, let's see, we've got plot to assassinate Putin on a Moscow bridge. He's now using a body double. Can you imagine being that guy who gets up in the morning every day and has to ride in a limo around Moscow? Going to the bridge where they're going to blow him up. Anyway, the body double's like sitting in the car going, do not know if this pay good. It's very so proud to be the president stand-in, but anyway, you know, it's not looking good over there. If I was Putin, I don't know. I'm trying to think, you know, this time of year he could Airedale somewhere nice, like, I don't know, Haiti's nice this time of year. I mean, I don't know, or Somalia. He could get down there and be maybe the king of Somalia. It's definitely in need of something there. And as far as, let's see, we have new laws in Florida. Republicans in Florida have an outlash. Oh, it just changed to a backlash to Pride Month. Okay, whatever. Hillbillies down there, they're going to do hillbilly stuff. The military recruiting crisis. Even vets don't want their kids to join, so. And now Pornhub has blocked Virginia users in response to a verification law. So all you porn hounds out there in Virginia, no, you deviant people. You notice how everybody in America, nobody watches any porn, right? But then if you look at the numbers, it's like statistically incredibly high numbers of people who do. So I don't think Pornhub will have any problems. If you are traveling this weekend, get ready. Just hang on to your ass because it's going to be madness and mayhem. Here's the title. It says, Travel Hell, Airline Mayhem Bites the FAA. Where did they bite them is what inquiring minds want to know. I have no clue. Let's see. Muscular people, like this scrawny bastard, we have less likely to get Alzheimer's. So if anybody's out there and you're a big muscly guy or girl, you off to go. And then we have, let's see, here's the other story. Macron dances at Elton John's concert as Paris burns. First off, didn't Elton just like retire forever for like the 8th time? I don't know. I'm an old man and I've seen him. He's retired like since I was in 14, you know. He's like back in the Elton days with the big glasses, and he's quite a guy, I gotta just say. Hell of a show. Let's see. cranking out joints. Let's see, this is an important story for some of you out there. Where did it go? At any rate, it appears that they're having a problem keeping up with the demand for marijuana because of the many places that have now legalized it. So, and angry Iraqis are burning rainbow flags outside Swedish embassy after they burned a Koran. Oh my God, look at that. Imagine that. They're getting riled up and people are unhappy. So, that's all the news that's going on. I'm going to bring on my co-host, Mandy, the Twisted Ginger herself. Good afternoon. You're back.
How's it going?
Oh, it's good. I'm glad that I woke up and looked at the show clock. I was like,
get
no.
My message after?
Yeah, I did actually, which is really pretty funny. It's just great. Hey, Marla, oh man, I'm so glad she's here. We haven't seen her forever, and we got the Muzak
Nice.
Archives guys. For everybody who's wondering about the Muzak guys, these kids, I call them kids because I call everybody who's less than like 40 a kid, but they're just cool kids. They were like, I don't know if you were here. Were you here when we had them on before, Mandy?
No, I would have remembered that.
These guys love. I don't know if there was a group of people who were fascinated with the music of 9/11 that was playing by Muzak, the company I work for. And it was interesting to me because I've always tried, our show's aimed at the baby boomer generation. I like to say sometimes they're hip kids, or, that kind of thing, because of the music and etc. Well, he's here, and I never know like when they're going to pop in. Hey guys,
Nice.
glad to see you. The group of them runs in age between, I'd say, like one of the kids was 16, and then there was another who was like 22, who was really a good. He's got his own podcast out there, a sports thing, and he's really good. In fact, I'm gonna have to have him on because haven't seen him in a while. So guys, you're out there. All I can tell you is we're glad you're here. The majority of them are teenagers. You see it. So thanks, guys. One of the reasons, if you're wondering why am I talking about Muzak and these kids, for those of you who don't know, I worked for Muzak for many years, so I have a pretty good history of the whole company because I enjoyed working for Muzak. People think it's like the elevator music company, but yes, we still even had that old program when I was there going on 15, 12 years ago. But people always think it was just this elevator crap. We have all kinds of music. We're technologically a very advanced company. In fact, we came from out in Seattle where Craig is. That was back in the days. It was one of our big one of the Muzak retailer dealers who was just really a solid. I mean, for years we tried all kinds of things. We tried to adjust your mood using music. People always talk about subliminals in Muzak.
Yeah.
We actually did try that to increase the pace at workplaces. And what would happen is they would try and play first thing in the morning. It would be like 120 beats a minute. You're like. And then they'd have a pause, and they had all these curves that they would use. And supposedly by noon they'd have you like, I don't know what they did to make you hungry. But one thing we did found, and a lot of people don't believe this when I tell them, but everybody's heard of subliminals. It makes you think that when you see them, you're going to be like, yes, I will vote for you.
Well, yeah, but no, they're subliminal.
They're subliminal, but
you don't know. You may never know. Everyone else knows because they see you.
It's interesting. We got our Chad Quist was one of the. Yes, you know that. That's right. And that Chad is a good friend of Craig's who introduced me to
that's
Chad.
Awesome.
Chad's he's also like Craig. He's just a hell of a guitar player and nice guy too. We'll have to have him on. It's been a year or so since I've seen him, but today's guest is really cool. For my old friends who used to watch the show, he's one of the earliest ones, and I feel like we're family because we've been through, wives and things and houses.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean,
Another
Craig,
one that's been through a divorce since like that. When I first saw you, I was happily married when I first met you.
Yes, indeed, it happens to the best of us. I don't know. I'm working on number 3. Hence, there's no paperwork. There's nothing. It's easy. We actually have our yearly renewal service rather than I haven't like stuck a rock on her or anything. I just am like, hey, baby, what do you think? You want to sign up for another year, or you ready to call and throw it in?
It's
kind of like our own version of I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. And I'm used to asking her that. And one of these days, she might just look at me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's It's interesting. These kids, when they first came on, it's like Seattle's old family day. It was bizarre to hear Chad's guitar playing on the speaker at the World Trade Center during the tragedy. It's true. When I watch that, it still kind of freaks me out. They have some footage that they have, and they've done a really amazing work of trying to get together and find all that music that was playing at the time. It was called environmental music, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of the channels that, personally, I heard it so often in the demo sequences I would do, and just I'd be like, oh, not that again. Raindrops keep falling on my head, or any number of, and it was that standard kind of music that people heard that was sort of syrupy and saccharine, and it's why people used to look at me and go, I'm not buying any, I don't need no damn music. What do I need to pay for music? And I'd be like, well, look, I don't like to sell on fear, but let me get you fearful for a moment. You don't pay, no ticky, no shirty, man. I'll have to take you to court, and we'll sue you forever. But the great company, part of the American dream, so to speak. At least mine, helped with a few things that I enjoyed working for them. Nothing better than selling music or playing it if you have to do this. Holy cow, he's talking about am I familiar with Brian Pizzone? He is one of my good friends from California. You remember Brian from LA? Keyboard player, Mandy, we had on, the amazing guy who just I very rarely throw around the word genius because I think it's overused by people. Brian is, without a doubt, a musical genius. He is an incredible talented guy, and he's like kind of the exact opposite of me. He's not like all loud and erratic or hang on, I need access still, Craig, to that video if you happen to be able to do something with that. If not, I have some video up in case of emergency. So now that we've gone through all this, I don't really see much more good news here. Although if you have Apple stock, $3 trillion valuation, folks. If you don't have it, you want to get some. Let's see. Florida and Texas see tax revenue grow, while California and New York. So we better get it going on over there, people. You got to stop with the, let's do something at least about the blatant crime right in front of you, Or, even the guardian angels don't go down in the subway anymore. I haven't seen a red beanie in freaking years. Okay, another great news, if anybody's worried, they are cranking out joints and edibles. Firms are in a race. I love that. They're in a race. You know what that means to me? It's going to get down. It's going to get cheaper. So for those of you who indulge, you'll be able to get
Supply and demand.
Artificial joy for a little better, hopefully cheaper. We'll have to ask Craig when we go on. I believe Seattle, it is legal to smoke the evil demon weed.
The devil's weed.
I'm going to be like reefer madness.
I was just going to say that. Reefer madness.
Man, I went to Plant City High School after going to boarding school in New York. And when I got there, we had to take, I had all my credits together. So I think my last year of school, I took home ec, driver's education. I went on work study so I could go to a job, which was playing in a band or being a busboy. Can you just see me with the happy tray wandering around picking up slop and cleaning out the food bar? Oh, what a gig, man. That's just so much fun. I used to like my job for the most part, except when the waitresses would scam my tax or my tip money.
Oh, see, that's not nice.
I'd be like, I'd go over and shake them down, I was like a young kid with an attitude. I'm like, hey, my tips are really light tonight. Who's not paying up? It was great. I was a smart mouth little thing. Travel mayhem is coming, people. So if you're traveling, it's like I don't think at the last minute I can just go book a flight to go visit Craig for the holiday weekend. Who wants to fly on this weekend anyway? It's like,
and we live in New Jersey. The traffic is bananas right now.
It is, and the flights are all backed up because last night, because of this crazy smoke, they had to cancel 600 flights. So you got people all around right now. They're at the airport. Can you just feel that vibe you get when you're like looking and you get to the gate and they tell you all of a sudden you have 20 minutes to walk across the airport to some gate at the exact other end you're in Terminal A. In Newark Airport is sort of like a cruel joke that we play on tourists. Can you imagine coming here from someone you can't speak English? They drop you off at Newark Airport of all places. You get out. It's just truly a Tower of Babel of people who are just, running amok. But the real challenge is when you get in your car or you get out of the rental agency trying to get out of the airport. It's constantly changed. Your GPS
Yeah.
is wrong. So
Yeah,
it's telling you
can't-
to...
Yeah, you just have to guess. You pretty much have to guess until you find the
Right.
right way.
And I've gone there once and had to go to the Marriott, which is right out by the Marriott airport. Not the
I know
terrorist
where that
Marriott,
is.
the other one, the Renaissance.
Yeah.
The other one was like where they had a bunch of hoochies on 9/11. You know, it's like, God, what a terrible place. It's like, but at any rate, I had to get from the airport where I was doing a project over to the Renaissance. And after driving around for 3 weeks, getting really frazzled, I finally get out and I see the Budweiser building. And there's no way to get from this lane over to there because they have a median. And I'll tell you what, I hit that thing. I went over the median in the Audi at like
shit.
40 miles an hour. People are like, yeah, and I'm like my shorts.
I'm
Finally
going
got
in.
there, and I was like all, I was like all angry and mad. And I go in and I see there's a big giant rat and there's a bunch of construction people, right?
Nice.
So I'm like pulling up there and I'm going, oh man, don't tell me I'm going to have to deal with this morning. These guys, I hope they're not picketing us. Well, they weren't. They're picketing the Joint Fitters Union, but. You know, I first pulled up, they're all giving me grief, looking at me. What are you, scab? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm just here to visit some chicks, you know? And they're like, get out of here. But that was pretty weird. So I don't really see, there is no solution for travel hell this week. And they are cranking out the joints, so that's good news. Let's see, we got the Pornhub news. I know that's really important to everybody. Say, we've got... Apple, if you got stock, you'll be a happy guy. $3 trillion valuation. And I looked at some stats yesterday. Their stock is just, they made so much money. It's unbelievable. Which is cool if you have the stock. As for me, not so much. So that's it. It's 4:24. Wow, we're a little behind schedule, but we're going to have Craig come on. We're going to talk to him. And... we're going to just take it. The flow is going. I'm going to get rid of that and bring up Craig Coleman's video here. There we go. Craig Coleman, his journey from afar to Afkar. Let's see what we got now. Oh, I like this when this happens. Ah, yes. Let me just make sure it's... Okay. We're having progress here, people.
Nice.
Excellent. Thank you, Craig, for taking care of that for me. And let's get out of here and go back to the show. Where's everybody? Right here. Ah, yes. Look at that. Everything's going to work. I dig that so much when that happens. Let me just pull up some video here. I want to have it ready so that we can talk about it after we talk to him about the music scene in Seattle. Where is it? Okay. Close this. I apologize, guys. Our genuinely crack team of productions people are not here, so it's all on me, and that's watch at your own risk. Playback speed. We want it regular playback. And last but not least, we'll go here and present it.
Nice.
Craig Coleman. Video share screen. And look, it says access denied, and then we got the tune. Craig Coleman. That's an old one. Where the hell is it? I've got you here. Tell me, can you hear this, guys?
No.
Apparently not. No? I hate it when
I'm
that
seeing
happens.
your screen, though.
I see a duck go, but I do not see this.
Quack. Is that Howard the Duck? Remember
Open-
that guy?
I know. Open attachment. There we go. Now we're cooking. I see what we need to do. And, God, Craig, you got some great graphics there, buddy. Got this great desert scene. Dan Deppert, you're learning piano. All right. Very cool, man. Okay, we want to stop screen. And we'll try it again. Present. Share screen. Access denied, home, YouTube. Very weird. So if there's another way to do this. Window. There it is. Hey man, people, this is so cool. Now we're kicking with gas. Oh yeah, look at this. We've got Craig's music up here, which is great. We don't want to see it right yet, but get that out. Hell with it. We're bringing Craig on right now. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend. What's happening, my brother?
Let me see. I can see me. Okay, yeah. The first image is frozen. Well, who cares? Okay.
Oh no. All right.
It's all about me anyway. So hey.
No, that's all right.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool. Well, I can bring that up in a moment. So,
Okay.
so what's been going on? I mean, I don't think
Oh,
we've
man.
had you on in 2 years. So,
It's been that long. Yeah, it's about right.
about right.
Of the debacle.
Yeah, man. I got to tell you, you look so much better than like the last time I saw you. Poor guy. When we all get our ass kicked in a divorce.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is officially with Mandy. This must be a divorce day or something. Yeah, we all got stories, but yeah, amazing what a divorce can do to your attitude.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
But it's at first, no matter whether you like it happening, I think it's
right.
still just such a gut-wrenching, agonizing thing to go through because all of us, I've been married twice, and that speaks for itself. So I'm not one to give marriage advice, other than tell you if you're going to get married, just get married and do right by your partner. Yeah. Do the best you can, and I know you did, and shit, man, it's like in my case, it's always been. It's just been part of the chaos of my life.
I hope Mandy concurs, but what I found is there's life after divorce.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So you're going through it is, it's a shit show, but I'm happy to say I'm in a great relationship with a wonderful woman, and she's incredible. So there is life after divorce, and
Is your lovely lady? Is she at the house with you right now, or is?
No, she has her. She has her own house.
Okay, great. Well, that's always nice.
She's much more business oriented than I am. Put it that way.
You know what? It's because we're musicians. I handle business, but that's not really why I do this. I do it so I can sit around and smack on things really hard and make people laugh.
Yeah, right?
Well, she's in the business. She's in the music business from an ad hoc kind of way. She's, dated other musicians, and she sang at one point in time. But
my sympathies.
Yeah, I know. But
takes a lot of
she's
stem,
very much
though.
into music, which is great. That always helped. Very supportive, and she, she's just awesome. I mean, she does.
I could tell. I was so happy to see you. Just when you posted that you had a new lady in your life, and I was like, "All right, man." And then I looked at your posts, and they were like significantly happier than they'd been in a year or two.
Well, it's really funny because I have a lot of friends. I had a friend that she's Filipino and Italian, which is kind of an interesting mix. But I have friends that are like, "Oh man, you should get yourself a Filipino woman." I'm just going like, "What do you mean?" She says that they really take care of you. Well, I'm here to say that is so true. The laundry list is incredibly long. It's pages long what she's already done for me, and I'm not used to being taken care of. So it's really hard. I'm going down swinging, but I'm slowly getting used to it. Her doing stuff for me. So.
Isn't it funny you say that? It's kind of, sometimes if you're in the wrong situation and you don't know it, but you're trying to make it work, but it's not. It starts fraying like a knot around the edges, and it's such a terrible time because I know in my case, even though you get a certain amount of relief once it's over, while you're going through it, it just feels like you're being scourged, and it's hard to really. I know for myself, I even though I was glad to be done and relieved. There was still some of the legal things, which, here I am 20 years later, my kid's in college, I don't have to pay any more money every month, and it opens up a certain amount of freedom, but it's still kind of, we always still have that little knot in the back of our head. I know I do. I think, could I have done anything better? And I think in some cases I go, yeah, I could have done this or that. And then sometimes, I just went, it's like my second marriage, I went, dude, you're 40 years old. You married a 23-year-old. What the hell did you expect to happen? It was great.
Yeah, no shit.
It was great fun while it lasted, but God Almighty. And
I want to say a quick hello to Dan. Dan just goes, hello, Craig. Dan Depret.
Hey, Dan. Yeah. Dan Depret is the kid I was talking about. He's not a kid. Nice. He's an adult. Yeah. He's got a show. Dan, pimp your show while you're here, man. You're a sports guy. I know you have a nice video. And I think he's come on and co-hosted a time or two. I'm not sure. We've had a bunch, but now I have the Twisted Ginger herself, so
Yeah, that's what I did with my divorce. I started a band, because what better to do that when you're learning how to be a single mom than to...
absolutely. Yeah, just to add a few more things to your already boring existence, right?
As we all know, man, music will save your life.
Yep, rock and roll saved me once again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Craig, I'm looking at your place. Oh, Dan, you're 15. Okay, I'm sorry. I've confused you with our other friend. Sorry about that. I really apologize. It's our other friend who does the... In fact, you introduced me to him, Dan. He's 15. This is a young man from England and a really cool kid.
Nice.
You know, and actually, I'm glad you're here, man. We haven't seen you in a while. I often wonder where some of the fans that we see come and go. And he was one of the first young people, quote, to watch the show. And I mean, it was kind of cool because I could spend hours trying to figure out how to get into young people to watch the show with an old guy talking about older music and stuff. But it's amazing. I get a lot of kids who, you know, now we get people who come and go, but they stop and watch the show because, you know, it's so different and homogenous being a kid growing up in today's world. It's so different than,
Yeah, I can't
you know,
even imagine.
I mean, it's just like, it's so different. I mean, think of everything. Television. What did we do all those days when we didn't have internet and you're in a band, you had to learn music, you had to go get the record
I tell
out?
my son that all the time. Like, all the things, I was like, you know, I didn't even have this, you know.
Yeah.
Like so much. I mean, like, we not only like the phones or the internet or, you know.
Right.
I always tell him about maps. Be like,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
you know,
having to
when
drive-
we used to tour, we had an actual map. You know,
and you had to read it, and right.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a problem with a lot of young guys? They don't know how to read, or young folks. I've read this, that they don't know how to read a regular clock. Apparently, they don't teach you in school.
That's a thing. That's
You
a
know,
thing.
That's
Yeah.
pretty wild. I mean,
Yeah.
you take it for granted. You know, Dan, I'm glad you're here, man. You really are a cool young man. And as you grow up, don't worry. You can come over here to America. I'm going to take you to Neil's training course for young men. We're going to go visit Craig out in Seattle. I'm going to take you to LA and show
That could
you
be
some
really
of the...
scary.
Oh, this is good. I got to wait till he's
Don't worry,
21.
Dan, you're under 18.
yeah, there you go.
I'm waiting till he hits 18 because he's going to have a good time in the States. In fact, we'll get Doug DeYoung, the ripping guitar player. We'll bring him to Vegas. Trust me, son, when we bring you back, you'll be a changed man. We're going to see the world in a whole new way.
He's not Amish, is he?
You know what's going to happen? He's going to come over here to America. He's going to end up a rock star himself of some kind. We'll bring him to LA, and I'll bring him out there, and he'll blow up, and I'll be like sitting there going, damn, I didn't get signed. But so Craig, I know your history, but why don't you tell us a little bit about you? I know you were a service brat, and talk a little bit about your first rock and roll experiences and being a black guy in God Almighty Germany back in the 70s.
Yeah.
You
Well,
were,
it's interesting. I have some friends that are, well, kind of friends, Facebook friends, and I remember my first band, and it was just incredibly loud. I mean, really, it was a 3-piece, and there were 2 brothers. They were twins. One played drum, one played bass, and we just basically, you know, played in the house. But on occasion, we'd go out and call it the AYA, which is American Youth something. It was like a teen club. Yeah, right.
American Youth Association. Or
Yeah.
Right.
And it was a teen club. Spent my days playing foosball. And you know,
foosball, I love it, man.
Listening to Inagata Davida and the Chicago's first album on endless rotation.
Oh, what a great drum record that is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Danny Serafon just tore it up, man.
I started playing drums before I started playing drums, and I crossed over to guitar. But
do you still do it when you are making music? Do you still lay down?
I consider myself a frustrated drummer. I use the polyrhythms in my guitar playing, so I mean, that's what I do. But you know, I understand drumming and what happens and all that kind of thing. So
there we go, Marla. We love you too, babe. There you go.
Hey, there's Marla. Ooh,
Marla, right?
She promotes me more than I do.
I tell you what, Marla, you are the best. You know, after you moved to Florida, and I thought, well, we won't be seeing her, and it's great to see you again.
I'm so happy you're doing well. She had some medical stuff.
I know. I'm so happy she's here and feeling good, and I hope the Florida weather is suiting her. It's hot as hell down there, but I don't know, Marla, how do you like it down in the tropics after being up in Seattle, the land of cold and rainy and stuff?
I like it a lot better there.
Yeah, I bet the palm trees. That's what everybody's like.
The economy is better for her too down there too.
Oh, good.
The housing market in Seattle is just unreal.
It just went through the ceiling, so she's lucky to buy. I mean, I've been looking for a place in Florida now. 2 years ago,
a lot of my friends can't afford a house, so they move out of state, which is what she did. Yeah.
Right. I like it. She's enjoying that song. It's like paradise.
Nice.
I'm kicking up Gangster's Paradise for the background music right now.
Nice.
Yeah, Florida's close, near and dear to my heart. It's my second home, and I've got my kids are there and my family's there. So for everybody watching, Tampa has gotten so cool and changed so much. The music scene is dynamic and vibrant. There's just so much going on. But like I'll tell you, man, get out your wallet, because when I moved, I was looking at a house 2.5 years ago, and I had the money. We had the stock market was booming. And I was like, I don't know. We just sat on the fence and we waited. And now the same house that we looked at for, like, say, $250,000 to $500,000. So if you're looking in Florida, you're gonna have to have at least 20% of that. And the other thing down there now is you have this new insurance because of all the hurricanes. So people are getting wicked sticker shock. Every year their rates just go through the ceiling. I know someone's paying $7,000 a year.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of money to add to your already, if you have $1,000 or $2,000 a month mortgage, it's crazy. But I'm glad you're doing good down there, Marla. Well, I've been talking for a minute. I've got some great music. I do have to do a commercial break just because somebody's got to pay the bills around here, and it might as well be the folks who buy some ads. So I'm starting off here as Carlton Wilkinson, Rutgers grad, musician extraordinaire. And here you go, Carlton. His stuff is available anywhere that music's available. And here we go. We'll be right back with we'll be back with Craig Coleman. And here we go.
There's some changes headed, like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing off this wild bird island shore. And I can't say where, and I don't know when, but some old door's been opened in the restless shade. Poor man sagging cigarettes, takes the subway home. Rich man folding old regrets, steps on the run down below.
Hey there, it's Kevin Sorbo here, and you lucky people, you are live. You're live with Neve or Neve or Neve. I don't know. I can't say the dude's name. Anyway, you're on live with him, so I don't know. I guess that's a pretty good thing.
I'm Neil from Live with Neve. We have an exciting connection for our veterans, country music fans, and there is something for everyone. Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. That's right, we've partnered with Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. See you soon.
And we're back.
Wow, that was
everybody.
Nice.
We've got Craig Coleman here from Seattle. Great musician. So tell me, Craig, I know we've spoken over the past couple of years. Your guitar collection, it's like mine. You turn out the lights and it makes babies, and there's another case and a guitar.
I got money now.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Boy, isn't that amazing? Sometimes when you're single, all of a sudden you got more money. It's just
Some people go, "You buying another guitar?" I go, "Well, yeah, I got money."
Yeah,
No.
you never have enough guitars, but
No.
The
So
last.
you can kind of see them. Let me see. How do I do that?
Oh yeah, I can see them kind of lined up over there.
They're over there.
Very
I see
cool.
like the size of
Yeah.
you can see them lined
So-
up nice.
So what's your main go-to acts these days?
God, it's funny. I was thinking about that this morning. I'll show you a couple of them in a second, but it's interesting. I have a real Paul Reed Smith.
Right.
Well, it's not one of the upper end ones because I can't afford $3,000 or $4,000, but I got one It's a real, real meaning, not made in America, but a red one. And I'll show you that in a second. But I bought one from overseas, and it's like, I'm gonna give Chad a shout out. Hey, Chad, it's just like Chad's because.
Oh, it's Chad. All right.
Yeah, and I bought one the same color as Chad's because Chad's my hero. And I told Chad once, I said, I want to be like you when I grow up. So I
do too.
Guitar. Let me get it real fast. So
cool.
Yeah, so this is long story short, what happened is that I paid like $350. I never paid more than $350.
Oh, right on.
$400, right?
Very nice.
So I found this online and I did some aftermarket stuff. It actually sounds better than my real Paul Smith. So hold on a quick second. I'll show you the blue one first.
Absolutely. For all you folks out there, musicians, I don't know about Mandy, but I love talking gear, seeing new gear.
It's
like
if you were to see what's behind me, it's like a whole bunch of gear.
The great reveal here. Let me pick it up.
Oh, what a beautiful finish on that thing!
I love that.
That is nice.
God, that is gorgeous.
I know.
Wow, that is so sweet.
Birds on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
and all these are aftermarket pickups. No, these are stock. These came that way.
Okay, are they humbuckers with the pickup covers on them?
Yeah, I like the headstock there.
I love the headstock.
It's really warm. It's really warm compared to. It's just different pickup. It's warmer than my red one. Which I'll make it fast. Get the other one.
Oh, that's all right. We're guitars always. I can It's like all I want to do is
look at instruments all day.
I know. I'm waiting for the New York Guitar Show to come back because that's just a great event, and I got to make sure I bring some money. All right.
Oh, almost choked myself. This is the other one. So
man, look at that tiger maple on there. Yeah. That is gorgeous.
It's number one because it's the first one I started, but like I said, that's
all right.
I like the colors, blood red color.
I love it too. That is a really gorgeous instrument.
But yeah, I bought this one because I was doing a lot of Journey stuff, and it has a 2-octave neck. So anyway, those are the two. But answer your question. I'm finding that blue one is moving to the top of the herd, so to speak, very quickly. So,
cool.
I bought a Strat. I got a Strat. I'll show you that later.
I was gonna say, you still have a Strat and a Les Paul?
Yeah, Strat and Les Paul. I have. I decided that now that I have a few bucks, I'm gonna get all the guitars that are iconic guitars, and which isn't a lot, really. Because it's funny. I'm on Tommy Shaw's, but no, it was Neil Schoen's Facebook page. And people bitching about me, saying, "Yeah, you got too many guitars." Blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna talk to Neil.
Oh man, no kidding.
Yeah, so I said, "So Neil, how many guitars do you have?" And it's like he says he's got like 10,000 guitars. It's like it's in a warehouse.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm gonna have Greg Raleigh's wife. She's got a child's book out. And since I have kids, I'm doing a segment with her just about. She came up with a great idea if you have small children, and it's a little different than our usual thing, but she's a really cool lady. And she just said, I'm going to write books for kids. And she basically wrote it for her own children. And they're great. I have a grandchild who just turned 5, and she's 5 going on 20. She's gorgeous. Maggie, if you're out there, I know your mom probably doesn't let you listen to this show for good reason. But I love you, kiddo. And it's really cool being a grandparent. I got to tell you. It's a different feeling. I mean, I know, Craig, you haven't had any kids yet, but
no,
ever. I hear you, man.
No.
But
I'm only 2 myself, so
I have a hard time breaking my my sense of humor is like about the average 12-year-old locker room shit. Hanging a kid up on the hooks in the locker room, the jocks.
Atomic wedgies swirl.
Oh yeah, they did this to some poor kid, and I went over and dragged him off the wall because I just don't like rednecks who do shit like that. And being the kid from New York, all the hillbillies in Florida, they were like, "That guy's from New York, man. I think he has a gun."
Yankee.
And I let him think all this crap, they're like, who is this guy? And like, you don't want to know. It was definitely different from coming from a New York kind of an attitude to going to Florida 30 years ago. There was dirt roads and alligators everywhere. And all I could say is my first thing to my mom, she picked me up at the airport. I'm like, when are we going back to New York? This sucks. And we're driving. There's all these. Have you ever heard of love bugs? Been to Florida? 2 times a year we get these little bugs.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the whole front of your car looks like it's like a caterpillar that's covered with dead love bugs. So first time driving with Mom to our new house out from Orlando. We're driving down to Tampa, and our car is covered with these things. And I looked at my mom. I'm like, what in the hell is this? What are these things? Love bugs? I'm like, they're disgusting. You got to get them off the car, man. I can't even see. You turn on the windshield wiper. It's just like this massive
smush.
guts and It's one of the worst things. So if you're moving to Florida, Marla, I don't know if you've experienced the love bug phenomenon yet, but don't worry. It's only twice a year, and it lasts a lifetime, but it's really only 2 weeks. That's all I can say to you. Well, you want to listen to some music and see your new piece? Tell us a little bit about your new tune.
Sure. It's called Journey from Afghar, or to Afghar. I did 2 songs. One was called Journey from Afghar, and the second one was Journey to Afghar. The first one was just an instrumental. The second one, I'm not sure. I'm starting to get into doing scoring for video for movies with a friend of mine, and so I started just kind of. I've been doing videos for a while of my own personal stuff. So I decided just to redo this and pretty much build a new song ground up. And it's so funny. I think about how fast you can do with the software they have now. It used to take me a day to build a song from scratch. And now you can just, I think it took me about 4 hours to do full production on the music.
Nice.
Which is just crazy. Yeah.
That is. It's so changed. You're right. And the fact that you can just carry your laptop and go to the studio and light it up, and times have changed. And just learning songs, man, YouTube's the best.
Well, the time it takes to actually do the video is because I'm building it afterwards. So a lot of film, you have a storyboard and you know kind of pretty much what you're going to do.
Sure.
With this, everything was on the back end, so I kind of have to envision what I was wanting, and hopefully it's linearly understandable.
Right.
That's the hard part.
There's a concept behind it.
So hopefully when we get done with the video, you tell me what you think it was about. So,
all right. Well, we're going to roll this, everybody.
Okay.
We're here with my friend Craig Coleman and the beautiful Twisted Ginger herself, Mandy She. And I can't use her new nickname because I don't know why.
Fook? You mean the red-headed Fook?
The red-headed Fooker. For you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, is we were talking, as obviously she has red hair, and my daughters have red hair, my ex-wife, so I know how it is being around these gingers. Believe me, you got to better do right, guys. Just... You think you got it, man? They'll kill you. You better be nice to them.
Only if you deserve it.
That's right. Absolutely. And hell, you're a catch anyway, both of you guys. So here we are. We got some Craig Coleman live, and check it out, everybody. We'll be right back. Let's listen to some good music.
Oh no, Neil, you're on mute.
Okay. I can hear you now.
Oh, I can't hear him.
That's weird. Can you hear him at all?
No.
Okay, good.
Not at all. No.
Does he know we can't hear him?
I'm gonna. I gave him the no, but I'll type it in the.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
There we go.
All right, you guys
there he
obviously
is.
you couldn't hear that, and you couldn't hear any music. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jeez, shice! It was playing so nicely here. You got all these some young lovely swimming in a swimming pool. Well, I have something else. Craig, how about, would you feel if I rolled something from your past?
Sure.
I can run
Depends on what it
Strange
is.
Brew Media, and I had that just in case we had any problems. So,
Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I don't know what's on there.
let's see. This was New Year's Eve.
Oh, this is all the vlogs though. There's no music on there, I don't think.
Oh,
Rick Davis,
God damn it,
FaceTime
people.
video.
Get out of here. Who's that? Damn telemarketers.
look at this shit. Go away.
You know what I used to do? I used to get on the phone and go like, "Bitch, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you."
I swear to God, on air. It's one of my best friends in the world. He knows we're on 4 o'clock.
Oh God, you need to slap
Jesus.
him next time you see him.
He's trolling you.
Craig, I'm sitting here looking at your play. Subscribe Strange Brew. Let's see what we can come up with. Videos. Are you still working with these guys?
Well, I think he was having some issues with production. So yeah, no, in answer to your question.
Craig Coleman, Atlantic Records. Is that you?
No.
No. Yeah.
Another life.
Another life. I love it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I tell you what, man. People, I'm going to find something. I'm determined. We have a few minutes here. Let me just find. Were you with Atlantic Records?
Mm-mm.
No. Well, I know you don't stutter. I'm sorry to make fun of
I'm
anybody.
excited.
It's really kicking my ass because this is right here and it's on the screen. Why is it not playing? Shit. Okay. We're not going to do that. Let's just talk music for a while. I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys.
That's easy.
We've got about 5 minutes, and
So I guess we can talk about the stuff we're doing. My partner in crime, Mark Atterbury. Mark and I met about in the '80s, and he's a keyboard player for a band that actually did pretty well. They were on MTV. They did the video. It was like prog rock thing.
right?
And we lost touch. We were doing some music together. He was working for Boeing doing graphic design. Also, he got contracted to do music, and they pay him for it, really, really well. So, but we lost touch over like almost 30 years.
Wow.
And so we gotten back in touch with each other through a friend. And he says, "Man, I've been thinking about you all these years, but I love playing with you, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Yeah, blah, 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 feeling mutual." I said, "So what have you been doing?" He said, "Well, I've been doing film scores. I've got a couple Grammys." I'm going like, sweet, So we decided to start to write music together again. And so basically over the last year, we've been getting the studio together and just kind of, doing some demos, going to do a catalog and then submit to some of his contacts. So I'm hoping I can quit massage at some point and do music full time again and be writing film scores. So that's the plan.
Cool.
So,
Well,
but,
that sounds like a great plan, and I know you do a great job at your regular gig, but man,
Yeah.
play music, it's such a great freedom to have that.
Yeah.
but it's starting to wear on my body a little bit. Massaging is great, but it wears
Oh
on
yeah,
my
it's hard on your body. Good
Yeah.
for everybody else. I know
Yeah.
your hands are probably strong as a horse.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I've got somebody here who says Art Blakey. Do you know who Art Blakey is? Anybody? It's a jazz drummer.
Yeah.
Well, back in the grim secrets of my past, it's not a secret anymore. I was with Terry Bozzio from Missing Persons.
Oh, wow.
We were
Wow,
sitting at a
great
bar. We were at a big drum convention. And of course, there's all the women who come from out of town to work these convention shows. They're all like, after 5 o'clock, we're all pouring into the bars, you know, and everybody's looking around to meet somebody new. It was really crazy. I'm sure I was going to say. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought on that one. But at any rate, who knows? The brain is a
It's Art Blakey, right?
Oh yes, it's Art Blakey. So I'm standing there with this guy, and a couple of chicks come up to us, and they start talking. They're like, "Hi, oh, are you a drummer?" And I look at Terry Bozio. I'm like, "Well, he is. I just try." But then the girl asked me what was my name, and I just looked at her, and having him sitting next to me, I said, "Oh, my name's Art Blakey," and he literally spewed.
Nice.
He like goes. He looks at me, and I got this chickie, and we're hanging out. And to make a long story short, we got together, and then a couple of weeks later, she shows up
together.
Yes, we were doing the I Ching. We were doing the I Ching, and you know, she came up to my room just to, you know, I don't know, we were memorizing the subatomic particle chart or something along those lines.
Yeah, right.
But at any rate, I just I thought she's going to leave town and go away. So 2 weeks.
Yeah, they never do, right?
No, so 2 weeks later, I'm at a gig, and I'm already like working on some of the local talent.
Oh God!
And the door opens, and who's there? And so she walked in. I go hauling ass out the back of the club, and I'm out there. We had this thing out in back of this bar. It was called the Sugar Shack, and it was where everybody would go to soak up and, you know, just hang out outside the club. And I tear out there.
You had your Home Alone face.
Oh yeah, I was just like freaking out, and then I had to go up and talk to her.
Of course you did.
And I was, it was just grim. And my guys did everything they could to make it excruciatingly painful for me.
They're like, "Hey, Art!
Art Blakey."
How you doing, Art?
And my other guys kept coming up going, "Hey, Neil." And she's like, "Is your name Neil?" I'm like, "No, it's Art. You can look for my album."
No, Neil, that's what you gotta do.
It's like, is that Neil and Bob or something you do? I mean, Jesus God.
That's funny.
Two people, you know, I've said that to a couple of guys at the Lowe's one time. I'm like, "Oh, Neil and Bob, or is that something you do?" And the guys just looked at me. I said, I'm messing with you. Don't punch me. You know, you got a tool belt. I don't know. Guy's gonna come after me with a claw hammer. So tell me, Craig, I gotta ask you, because you do live in Seattle. Yeah. How is Seattle, man? You read stories on the news and stuff. Do you feel in terror every time you go out, or is it just Seattle and just crazy in a couple areas downtown? What's the real truth?
You know, I consider myself very insulated.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm good, man. I mean, I just basically don't do a lot. I mean, I go out to see friends every once in a while, but, you know, people that I go see are people that I really want to see. So
of course,
I'm not going downtown, you know,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to, you know, pretty respectable places. But, you know, I mean, I hear it's out there, but I don't do anything stupid either.
Right.
You know? So, but the music is very interesting here. I'm not sure what's going on. You know,
it's very diplomatic.
There's no there's
I
no.
don't want to get in trouble.
No, I understand.
Right?
That's a very nice way of putting it. No.
Yeah, you'll have a bunch of people. What are you slamming on the music scene in Seattle for? The outrage of the day, as I like to call it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you know, I can't really say because I don't play anywhere near as much as I used to, primarily because I'm working. Right. And there's a lot of people, you know, and I'm getting older. You know, I just turned, you know, was it 67?
Wow.
And yeah.
You look great, man. You don't look a day over 80, my man.
I'm well preserved.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
Preservatives. But I think part of it is that you know, I see these people going out playing every weekend and all that kind of stuff, and they're, you know, just like you, Neil. I mean, we were doing it full time at one point in time,
right?
And you know, I mean,
it's hard. The older we get, there's recovery time.
Yeah, it's almost like been there, done that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I really there's a lot of places that I just don't want to play again, because it's part of a grind, and when it's a grind, you have to do something to get out of the grind, or you just get stuck doing the same thing. And
well, you know, and I can't believe I have to hear myself saying this, but you know, it's like it's much more fulfilling for me to hang out with my girlfriend and have happy time. And
absolutely.
Then, you know, then to go out and do with drunks and people that are doing all kinds of stuff. And people, I mean, I'm sure you notice back east, like people driving are fucking nuts, man. Like
Absolutely.
every time I'm driving and I look at my rearview mirror and I see this guy coming, up behind me like 100 miles an hour, I'm going like, oh God, please don't let this guy run. Because you don't know. I mean, because like they can't anticipate what you're going to do. And I mean, it's like I always count my blessings, man. It's like, is this my time? Some guys are gonna run my asshole, because they're going 110 miles an hour. So,
I saw a guy once in my rear view, and he was like a mile back, and he's passing cars, and I can see him coming up in a really dangerous manner, right?
Yeah.
Well, he comes down, and every time a car would go by, he'd pass another car, and I was like, oh, great, look at this asshole. I had my brand new DW drum kit in the back of my Blazer.
Oh.
I'm going to work, and I thought about that guy being kind of a dick the way he was driving, but I didn't realize at that point he'd come up right behind me because I was looking to turn into our business.
Mm-hmm.
Bang! Hits me from the rear doing about 80.
No.
Flips my car, goes through the fence right into the parking lot of this car lot that me and a friend of mine owned 20 years ago. And one of the toms came up and whacked me right in the back of the head. So I had my scalp kind of laid open. Nice little divot on the back. But the main thing I was pissed off about is my whole DW kit. I'm upside down, and it's in the back, and I'm like freaking out because I can't get up and get the door out. I'm like sore, I'm not beat up. I didn't have any fractures, but I ended up in the hospital for a week. Just they wanted to check me out. My heart was getting geeky, and at any rate, I had my lot guys. This asshole who hit me, not only did he have no insurance, after he hit me, he tries to take off. Wrong move. My 4 lot guys get in the car, big truck, dually, and they ride down and drag the guy into the car. They're like, you're not going anywhere, dude.
Wow.
Drag him back to the police come. He gets arrested for driving, no license, couple of warrants. So, there you go. You never know when something's happened. I could have been killed that day. And
yeah, you don't, man. That's just scary. You look at rearview mirror, you see this guy, he was like, okay, I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm not going to do anything, to make him.
Right. Or like the road ragers in New Jersey. I love those people. The worst thing you can do with them is just sit there and go, hi.
Oh, that's what I do all the time.
That's that's probably a smart thing to do. Don't look at him. Don't look at him in the
No
eye.
eye contact.
Don't get eye contact, Quick, he might see me looking at him,
Yeah.
Well, so Craig, I know you've been playing that Rock-a-Rokie. Tell us a little bit about that. That seems like such a cool gig.
Well, it's really funny when I got asked to do that, because that's pretty much. But see, the good news about that is like I do. Rock-a-Rokie it actually is a pretty inventive way of audience participation, drawing them in.
Sure.
But the guy who's been running it for many years, and he's got a model down. So we do corporate stuff where they'll fly us to wherever,
right.
And then we do things on the weekend, which is like a bar gig. So I kind of have that mixture of that. But basically, what happens is that they run a track, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have myself, a bass player, and a drummer. We run a backing track, and people come up and sing. So they have the experience of singing with a live band. People, they love that. And for the corporate stuff, it's usually a party of some sort, and they invite the band to come up, and people have
they have a great time.
But the scary part, let me put it real fast. The scary part was when I was asked to do this. It was like he's got like 400 or 500 songs, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm going like, wow, man, there's no way I'm going to learn 400 or 500 songs in 2 weeks. He goes, no, you don't understand. Right? I'm going like, so I got the list of 100, so I went and then charted all the 100 of them. But of course, people are going to request other things. So I finally figured out after about 2 shows, I'm going like, wait a minute, I can just chill. I can just rest and wait till, because the key comes up. So I just, if I don't know the song, I can just lay out and just riff, and not have to know the song. And so that made it a lot easier. That's a secret.
Sure.
No one knows this.
Well, we won't tell anybody in the 100 million people in my audience. They won't tell anyone.
Yeah, they won't know. They won't know. Yeah. So that was a cool part. So, I mean, after that, all the stress kind of go like, okay, I can just chill and play. So it's pretty cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being on. I got
Oh,
you know
man.
what? I got to get you back on. We're gonna have to book another date because there's still stuff I want to talk about, and we
Right.
are at the end of the show. But I'll also make sure that we have your music set up. I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
why.
weird.
That's really a
That's
bummer
weird.
because
Yeah.
I tested it last night. Just I pretty much
Yeah.
came down, had everything sort of ready to go, and then
It's too bad because it's really cool shit. No.
no, it is really cool. No, it's really
Yeah.
cool. In fact, if it's okay with you, I might like to just play it for someone next week. Just
Oh,
tell
sure,
them that
that's
it's
fine.
yours.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
I think it's cool. And when I listened to it the other night, I dug it. And I liked the graphics. It was cool.
Well, it's really interesting in creating in real time. Like
Right.
you know, us as songwriters, we kind of piece it together, and it's the same process of sorts.
Right.
But what's really cool is that you can pull these loops
Right.
and just kind of put it, you know, like you never know, and you're constantly changing it, and then you get to the end, you go like, wow.
I think that makes your songwriting kind of sometimes take a different turn because you got these
Yeah.
loops. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and,
You're like, wow, that'll fit right here for transition or
Yeah,
any,
yeah,
you know.
and in the time, you know, the time factor. You know,
Shoot,
is
yeah.
like, I mean, like I did a song like 4 hours.
That's it. Well, I always try it when I sit down and I've got that you know, it's just call it getting in the zone. I'll hear something in my head, and it's like you, man. 4 hours later, I've got the outline of a song. Now, I know my limitations
Right.
as a keyboard player, guitarist, but as you said, with loops and a little auto correcting, you can make a great demo. It sounds like, you know, really well done, and it's like you
But you know,
say,
it's
4
funny.
hours.
I felt really guilty. I felt really guilty when I started doing it because you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly. I felt the same way,
It's
like
I'm
auto
a
tune.
songwriter. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm going like, I'm just cutting and pasting this shit. You know, or
But
copying and
you know,
pasting.
there is an art to it because there's a lot of
Yeah.
people who can't do it well. Transitions get muddied, and
Yeah.
I've been doing. When I went to Full Sail and I graduated in '92.
Oh yeah, that's a great school.
And that was a long time ago. The Synclavier was the shit. Now my laptop and my desktop I'm using right now just smoke all the memory, but it was the first commercially available device that you could sequence, sample, and record just as digital, non-destructive editing.
Right.
And back then it was really cheap. We all had one. They were like $200,000. Frank Zappa, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
But I got trained on that thing, and you know. I swear to God, I had a Commodore 64 way back.
God.
I used to sequence on it, rudimentary sequences, and it sounded really crappy, but I could put up, like when we did Beat It, I
Yeah.
put the whole drum track on it. Dun,
Oh
dun,
yeah.
dun, dun. And then I'd play over that track, and you know, it was back, I was in a show band.
Oh.
We had a hot singer like Mandy up there shrieking out tunes. And we had a guy who sang. It was a great, it was a variety band, which back in the 70s, the late 70s was great. I mean, we were working Holiday Inns and doing all kinds of crap. But there's nothing like being a
we're
musician.
using Logic Pro, which is just
Oh, yeah.
that, oh man, we started getting. I mean, luckily Mark has a background, so he's retired. So he's going through all the tutorials and everything, and we got into it, man. And that program is so fucking deep. There's people that are still trying to figure, and the sounds, the cinema sounds are just incredible.
Absolutely. I use it as well, and I
Yeah.
find it really helps you come up with new ideas. I sometimes I'll go in and like take up all the hard rock gangster drum samples and start
there
laying
you
down
go.
these really gnarly drums that they sampled,
Yeah.
like Easy E sampling Clyde Stubblefield, you know.
Yeah, right. It's
And I'm like,
fun.
wow, I don't even have to sit down and cover that because I love playing it.
know.
But you know, I'm like, it's done. We don't have to
Yeah,
set up the drum kit, you know.
Yeah, right.
Well, so when's your next gig, man?
I'm doing every Wednesday night at this place called Jazz Bones in
Okay.
Seattle. So I'm doing, I got my residency at Jazz Bones every Wednesday night, and just it's fun.
Excellent.
It's a bar show. Get $1.50. But at this point in time in my life, it's all about after everything that happened over the last couple of years, getting back out there and playing is I'm not willing to play for free, but I'm willing to play to make a little bit of money. But it's all
It's
about playing.
nice when you can just get a little bit of pocket money, a little extra money, take your old lady out for a nice dinner somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing to me. I won't go in it because we're over, which is fine. I like going over a little once in a while, but all right. Well, listen, I'm going to be reaching out to you soon.
Okay,
and
no worries.
we'll talk. We'll have you back soon, and I'll just make sure we
Neil,
got
as
some
always, man. You're I can't tell you You know, we've known each other the last couple years, and you've always been great. And
Well, I kind of consider you family because when you
Yeah.
came on and you had your destruction of a marriage, which I'm an expert at that. So even back then, I knew there's nothing you can say to somebody when you're so raw and you just feel like you've been like taken out in the sun and baked on a mound of anthills. That's how I felt after my divorce, and it sticks with you. But you know, my best to your lady. It's really nice that you you know, have her somebody nice in your life, and
she's
that's a
incredible.
good thing.
You know, it's really funny because after all these years, you know, too bad, you know, it takes us so long sometimes to find that person that really you can, you know, connect with on many different levels. So
Yeah, you have to kiss a few frogs.
Yeah.
I'm
kiss a few.
All right,
Yeah.
everybody,
As you
we're
like
out
to
of here.
call it.
All right.
Have a
Later.
great day, everybody. We'll see you next
Bye.
Friday
See you soon, bro.
on Live with Neve. Here we go.
Bye.
5, 4,